Welcome to my latest 2023 NFL preview. Today I'm breaking down the Carolina Panthers, and here's how my previews work. I start off with 3 things I like about the Carolina Panthers, followed by 3 things I don't like. Then we break down the schedule, and at the very end I go over the yearly win total odds and reveal if I am putting action down on the Carolina Panthers. Let's start this off with the first thing I like about the Carolina Panthers. The first thing I like about the Carolina Panthers is Bryce Young. I want to be clear, I'm not convinced Bryce Young is the answer, but the main reason Matt Rule is now in Nebraska is he didn't have his quarterback. As I am making this video, it's already been announced that Bryce Young will be the starting quarterback opening day for the Carolina Panthers. Now, it may not work out, but the last time Carolina took a quarterback number 1 overall in the draft, it did work, and you did go to a Super Bowl. The second thing I like about the Carolina Panthers is their new head coach, Frank Reich. Throughout NFL history, great coaches are associated with great quarterbacks. You have Lombardi and Starr, Montana and Walsh, Brady and Belichick, and Reed and Mahomes. Frank Reich's last 4 years in Indy had 4 different starting quarterbacks. That isn't all on Frank Reich. The Carolina Panthers made the big trade in order to draft Bryce Young. Since Reich was hired and helped orchestrate the trade, you have to feel confident that he finally has his starter as quarterback. The third thing I like about the Carolina Panthers is their young, talented defense. New defensive coordinator Ejiro Evero is coming over from Denver. He's bringing defensive lineman Deshaun Williams with him, and if Williams becomes a starter, he will be the only starter who at age 30 is 29 or older. This was not a great defense last year, but does have some great young players. Brian Burns went to the last 2 Pro Bowls and is an elite pass rusher. You have 2 linebackers that had over 100 combined tackles last year and a very talented secondary. This defense isn't a finished product, but you have all the talent you could want, young ascending talent. Basically, Evero's biggest challenge is getting everyone on the same page. To recap the 3 things I like about the Carolina Panthers, I like that you got your quarterback. I like the Frank Reich hire, and you have a young, talented defense. Before I go over the 3 things I don't like, make sure you smash that like button. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. It helps this community grow, and by subscribing, it is scientifically proven to make you better looking. Now to go over the 3 things I don't like about the Carolina Panthers. The first thing is quarterbacks chosen number 1 overall always have rough starts. Trevor Lawrence went 3-14, Joe Burrow went 2-7-1, and Kyler Murray went 5-10-1. And not every quarterback chosen number 1 overall has success. Baker Mayfield's on his 4th team in 6 years, and Jameson Winston is a backup. The one guarantee is Bryce Young. He went 23-4 at Alabama, will lose more games year 1 quarterback in Carolina than he did in his entire career quarterbacking the Crimson Tide. Some can handle it, some can't, but it definitely is a challenge, and we'll have to see if Young can buck the trend and win year 1, but history is against him. Second thing I don't like is Carolina doesn't have a true number 1 wide receiver. In order to trade up for Bryce Young, Carolina included DJ Moore in the trade to Chicago in order to draft Young. To be clear, it's not that I hate the receiving core, but you have a rookie quarterback, and on 3rd and long, who is the guy? Adam Thielen is probably option 1, but he will be 33 when the season starts and has slowed down considerably. You have some nice pieces including free agents Thielen, Chark, and Hayden Hurst, plus 2nd round pick Jonathan Mingo has some upside, but you don't have a true number 1 receiver going into the season. The third thing I don't like about Carolina Panthers is their salary cap situation. General Manager Scott Fitterer made some unusual cap decisions during the Matt Rule era and made the cap for 2023 and, more important, 2024 almost maxed out. This could end up being an on-field issue as Brian Burns is playing on the 5th year of his rookie contract. Now, unlike Nick Bosa, Burns is reporting to camp but could easily sit out without a new deal. The way the cap is set up, signing Burns' long deal would require something creative, or he could be traded mid-season just like Roquan Smith was last year. Ideally, Burns plays hard this year, but worst case scenario, Burns sits out and Carolina loses their best defensive player. To recap the 3 things I don't like about the Panthers, Panthers. Number 1, quarterbacks picked number 1 overall always struggle year 1. Number 2, no true number 1 wide receiver. And number 3, the salary cap situation specifically regarding Brian Burns. Now, let's look at the Carolina Panthers schedule. With a rookie quarterback, I believe the situation is to improve as the season goes on and field a competitive team in 2024, maybe 2025. They start the season with 4 out of their first 6 games on the road, and their first 2 games are against division opponents. Normally, I'm not a fan of early season buys, but this is an exception. I like that after the bye, you play 3 out of the next 4 games at home, plus Chicago, the lone road game, is a winnable one. In my opinion, if you can get to the bye at 3-3, you got a real chance for the playoffs. After the bye, you have 6 home games and a few winnable road games. If I'm a Panthers fan, I'm simply looking for Bryce Young to improve as the season goes on, but if I'm at 500 after week 6, I got to be thinking playoffs because of a favorable schedule after the bye. Now let's take a look at the yearly win total odds. Across the board, the magic number for the Panthers is 7.5. If you're new to sports betting or don't understand how to bet yearly win totals, you can check out my tutorial video here. I really like the under, and Barstool right now has plus 105 for under 7.5 wins. This number could go up if Bryce Young looks really good in preseason. It could go down if Brian Burns decides to hold out. My play is the under here, but I don't like betting on first-time head coaches. Granted, Reich has had success in Indianapolis, and he's not a new head coach, but he is new in Carolina, and how he adapts to a rookie quarterback will be interesting. I want to be clear, I am not betting on the Panthers, but I really like the under. Tomorrow, I do my 3rd straight NFC South team. I will be breaking down the New Orleans Saints. Check out the playlist listed here to see a preview of your favorite team, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.